15 number one. It's the very front, very front of the packet.
This kid randomly put on a lighter and started lighting it.
And he was like, I ran it to your desk, I didn't see it.
Yeah, freshmen are.
They're like all
he literally like went to the desk and was like,
hit it.
I ran it to your desk.
They're a fun bunch, y'all.
They're like fighting with each other. I heard that kid that was like, can I bring my grade up? I have a 20. I was like,
Oh, the one that just came in?
I was like, what do you mean how? You do stuff.
I know. I post everything on Classroom, and it tells them like explicitly, like, click on this link.
I feel like I don't have to like try to fail.
Especially in the classroom and stuff.
And I like say it, and then they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. Do the stuff that you missed when you were in room. And like everything counts twice, and it has all year. Like I count everything as formative and summative, and they're like, but I have like 6 zeros, and I'm like, yeah, but it's 3 things. Each of them counted twice. Yeah. Okay, so this is a rate problem where they're going to give you a rate of that something's changing and ask you questions about that. Typically it's on the calculator portion. Several years ago it was on the non-calculator, so I mean it could always show up there, but on the non-calculator they'll just use hopefully simpler equations. So, all right, the rate at which rainwater flows into a drain pipe is modeled by this function. So this is the rate that water is flowing into the pipe in cubic feet per hour. T is measured in hours. And we're talking about for 8 hours. So from 0 to 8. The pipe is partially blocked, allowing water to drain out the other end of the pipe at a rate modeled by this. So this is the rate that water is leaving the other end. So it's coming in one end of the pipe at this rate, but because it's partially blocked, it goes out the other end at a different rate. Also cubic feet per hour for the 8 hours. There are 30 cubic feet of water in the pipe to start. So the pipe starts off with 30 cubic feet of water. 30 cubic feet of water in the pipe. All right, so how many cubic feet of rainwater flow into pipe during the 8-hour time interval 0 to 8? So we know the rate that it's flowing, and now they're asking us for the total amount that flows. Right, so we have cubic feet per hour, and they're asking us for cubic feet over the 8-hour time period. So to accumulate a rate, you integrate, right, which is basically what we're trying to do here. We're trying to figure out the total. We're trying to accumulate the total change, right, from the rate of change. So you integrate. So for part A, we would integrate from 0 to 8, since that's the time period that we want to know the total for. We would integrate the rate. So 20 sine t squared over 35. Or you could just write r of t. You don't have to write the whole equation. You could call it by its name right here. You can just write 0 to 8 r of t. But you do need to write down what it is you're doing. Don't just type it in the calculator. On the calculator portion, they want to see your setup. So they want to see what it was that you used the calculator to evaluate. So we're going to use the calculator for this. So menu, calculus, and number 2, or there's a template on a template menu right next to the number 9. It's the second template on the bottom row. So either way, 0 to 8, 20 sine, whoops, 20 sine of t squared over 35. So 76.57. If you don't get that number, it may be that your calculator is not in radian mode. No. Why is it acting like it's new?
It's like the loading screen. Where is it just like dead?
Yeah, it's sometimes if it dies. so this was worth 2 of the 9 points on this problem.
How many points do you need to get?
It depends, it varies from year to year, but,
This was, like, if you take 1 of 3, then how much?
this was in 2008, what it took. Hold on. So in 2008, to get a 3, you had to get 34 points out of 108. So there's 108 points altogether. There's 54 points from the free response and 54 points from the multiple choice.
How many?
34 to get 3
34 out of 108?
out of 108.
Oh, that's 30%. I don't know about all that.
That's pretty high.
Well, that's really high. I should have questioned that.
Okay, so what do you need to do?
Next potential Friday?
Yeah. Wait, let me see. I'm talking.
At Baylor, you need to get 4 or 5.
Right, that's not, it doesn't have
How
to
do
be
you
exact.
talk stuff so quickly?
And then
Because I'm useful, I recognize you're useful.
yeah, so 34 points, you get 1 point, 2 points for each multiple choice that you get right, and then the free response are worth up to 9 points. So, this part one was worth 2.
So you need like 9 points to get 3. So if you get like 4.
So.
No, you need a total of 34 points, or about 34
So if
points.
you do like 4 free response problems, okay, and you just suck at the rest,
Yeah.
you still get 3. That kind of gives you like a line at the end. Wait, how many free response questions are there?
There's 6.
If
Oh,
you got
come on.
if you got all of the multiple choice right,
You would have you'd have 54 points, which would be like a 4 or a 5.
okay, and you got none, like
And you got none.
no.
Yeah, 54 points would be,
I'm just asking theoretically.
Yeah.
Scenario.
No, I know what you're saying.
Okay, Mr.
half the points come from multiple choice, half are from free response, and if you get half the points, you'll have a 4. So half of each, you got half the points from free response, half the points from
So
multiple.
I got like 100 on the free response, like got all of them right.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Then you could get 5.
To get a 5, it's like 60%, so like 65 points or higher.
You could get like 50.
Y'all, I barely started saying.
No, like.
Noette's nervous because she has to try to match her brother because he's 5 when she says this.
That's the one good thing about being
An only child, yeah.
Oh, I'm the best. You need a 5. And I was like, how do we
You're the
find
only and the best.
other questions?
No, but you have brothers, right?
No,
Older brothers,
yeah,
yeah.
they suck. So I'm like,
I don't think Monday wanted to plug that into the calculator, you said it shows up, it showed up on a AP test on the section that you couldn't use it.
Yeah, they wouldn't give you this equation on this, like when they did the when it was on the non-calculator, let's see.
they would just give us
Yeah. Yeah, like when they gave it on the non-calculator, this was the equation that they gave.
Okay, you would just like.
Okay, yeah, you can do
So
that.
it's a lot easier. I mean, you distribute the 1/5, you get 20 minus 1/5 b. And so then when you integrate it, you get 20b minus 1/5 b squared over 2 or whatever. Like, they're gonna give you an easier equation.
So, but.
And like the year before, it was another easy equation. Like, it was another easy one.
So it's asking you the derivative in respect to time.
It asks for what?
It's, so A is asking the derivative.
To integrate.
Integrate.
Yes.
What is
Because it's asking you to go from cubic feet per hour to cubic feet. So it's asking you to change from a rate to a total. So if you wanna go from a rate to a total, or you wanna accumulate a rate, you integrate.
And what is the DT again?
That just means that this is a derivative that we're integrating. If you don't have the DT, it's not that big of a deal. It's just part of the notation for the integral.
If you had to do it by hand, it's not an easier equation.
You plug the top, after you integrate, you plug the top.
Attention, Ms. Croft, if you're in the building, please
We can
dial
do it in a minute.
8111. Ms. Croft, please dial 8111.
So cubic feet per hour would be the derivative of the
Yes,
function?
yeah, would be, yeah. This is actually a derivative of something else, right? A rate of change is a derivative. So this is a rate.
Okay.
So we're integrating that rate of change to get a total. It is derivative, yeah. All right,
But if it asks you how fast was it?
right, like on this next one, like it
you take
says,
the derivative?
yeah, you look at the derivative. So this says, is the amount of water in the pipe increasing or decreasing? Hold on a second. So is the amount of water in the pipe increasing or decreasing at time t equals 3 hours? Give a reason for your answer. So what this is asking is the rate of change for the amount of water in the pipe positive or negative? So we have the rate that water is coming into the pipe, and we have the rate that water is going out of the pipe. And so we want to know if the combination of those two things is resulting in an increase in the amount of water or a decrease. Is it going up or is it going down? Is it positive or negative? So, thank you. So what we want to know is the rate that water is going into the pipe minus the rate that water is going out of the pipe, positive or negative. When they talk about increasing or decreasing, they're talking about the derivative, the rate of change. And that's what these two equations are, is their derivatives, their rate of change. So we want to know if water flows in and water flows out, is the overall effect an increase in the amount of water in the pipe or a decrease? Are we adding more than we're taking away, or are we taking away more than we're adding? What's happening? So we're going to do R of 3 minus D of, so in my calculator I'm going to plug in. Now what I would actually probably do on this problem, because these equations are kind of complicated, is before I even started, I probably would have gone to the graph and typed these two equations in. Just so then I have them stored and I don't have to keep typing them over and over again. I can just call them F1 and F2 or whatever. So I would type in 20 sine x squared over 35 and negative 0.04 x cubed plus 0.4 x squared plus, whoops, no. Plus 0.90. That way if I have them both saved in there, then I don't have to keep typing in over and over again. I can just save the R equation in F1 and the D equation in F2, and then when I want to plug into them, I can just call them that on my calculator screen. So I could have done this last problem by doing 0 to 8 of F1 of X or T, whatever you want to call it. And I would have gotten the same thing without having to type that whole equation in. Okay, so on this problem I want to do F1 of 3 minus F2 of 3 negative 0.314.
What do you think your estimate is?
I just did a standard viewing window, so I just did menu. Oh wait, what are you talking about?
Because mine was like really small. Mine actually show up.
Yeah, I just press menu and then window, and then just do a standard window. Just do number 5.
Wait, what, when you went, I think it was like when you do the graph,
Yeah.
and you went to find out like the point
Yeah.
what did you go and do the F1 of 3 minus?
Yeah, I did F1 of 3 minus F2 of 3.
Okay, well, I do that too, but I didn't do that.
Are you sure that you typed your equations in right?
Probably not.
If you didn't type your equations in right, or it could be that your calculator is not set to radian mode. I'll make sure on the day of the test that they're all, like, I'll reset all the graphs, I'll clear everything, and I'll make sure that they're all set to radian mode, all the calculators that I sent over there. Coach Munson's giving you all the tests that day.
Yeah, I probably committed one then.
I can look at it in a minute if you want me to.
No, probably.
Alright, so we got a negative answer, which means that the amount of water in the pipe is DC, right? So since we got a negative when we did R3 minus D3.
Do you want to put units?
No, I don't think on this problem you do, because they give them to, yeah, it doesn't say anything about units on any of these. Usually they'll say, like, be sure to indicate units or whatever. This is worth another 2 points. So 1.4